इसमें हेल्थ को लेकर के एक बहुत ही उनका क्लोज टू द हार्ट ये एक टॉपिक रहा है। और जाहिर सी बात है जब आज भी जब G20 के मंच पर उनका इंटरवेंशन रहेगा हेल्थ के वर्किंग सेशन के अंदर, तो ये कुछ बड़ी बातें निकल करके आ सकती हैं, क्योंकि जाहिर सी बात है सबकी निगाहें भारत पर होंगी, प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी पर होगी, क्योंकि 2023 की जो प्रेसिडेंसी है G20 की वो प्राइमरीली भारत के पास में होगी। तो इस तरह से किस तरह से भारत का विजन रहता है तमाम चीजों को लेकर के, जैसे डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमीज और डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज और डेवलप कंट्रीज के बीच में खाई जो एक है जो उसके उस पर कैसे कम किया जा सकता है, इन तमाम चीजों पर फोकस रह सकता है जब तक हेल्थ की अगर हम बात करते हैं।
अरुण, क्योंकि जो हमने पहला सत्र देखा जिसमें ऊर्जा सुरक्षा और खाद्य सुरक्षा को लेकर बात कही गई, साफ तौर पर उसमें यह था कि किस तरह से खाली खाद्य की सुरक्षा को सुनिश्चित नहीं करना है बल्कि इसे जरूरतमंदों तक पहुंचाना है। कुछ इसी तरह की बात जो आपसे मैं सुन पा रही हूं और आप इशारा कर रहे हैं कि यही चीज स्वास्थ्य को लेकर भी हो सकती है, क्योंकि कोविड काल के बाद तमाम देश थे उन्होंने कहीं ना कहीं ये भुगता और भोगाई कि कैसे इस पूरे क्षेत्र में, अगर हम टेलीमेडिसिन की बात करते हैं, आयुष की बात करते हैं, इम्यूनिटी बढ़ाने की बात करते हैं, तो भारत उसमें ध्वजवाहक की भूमिका निभा सकता है।
और जो ये भी हम जानते हैं आजकल के जो आयुर्वेदिक सेंटर है जो वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ कोलैबोरेशन में एस्टैब्लिश किया गया, वो भारत में किया गया है। तो दुनिया भारत के आयुष को या फिर आयुर्वेद की पावर को समझती है और जानती है, इसलिए प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी अपना जो भारत का आयुर्वेद है, जो आयुष है, इसको शोकेस करते हुए नजर आ सकते हैं प्लेटफॉर्म के ऊपर। लेकिन अगर आप हेल्थ के मोर्चे पर बात करें तो भारत ने एक तरह से टेक का इन्वॉल्वमेंट भी हेल्थ के सेक्टर के अंदर काफी ज्यादा किया है। आरोग्य सेतु ऐप अगर आपको याद, आरोग्य सेतु ऐप भारत ने उस समय में डिजाइन किया था और इसको ओपन सोर्स कर दिया था। यानी कि अगर आप कोई भी देश अपने देश के अंदर एक ट्रैकिंग ऐप ढूंढना चाहता है जिससे हम लोग आरोग्य सेतु जैसा जो ऐप है जिससे कि आप हेल्थ केयर या फिर कोविड के मरीजों को
Well, that is, of course, the visuals that we're getting of Prime Minister Modi attending the G20 summit, which is currently underway in Bali in Indonesia. Now, of course, earlier as well, we were talking about the fact that he will be attending key sessions which include the food, energy security, digital as well as health sectors. In fact, Prime Minister Modi a while ago during one of the key sessions reiterated his call for a return to the path of ceasefire and diplomacy in Ukraine, saying members of the G20 should show concrete and collective resolve to ensure peace and security in the world. In fact, of course, talking about the G20 summit here, the G20 leaders have gathered for a two-day meeting in the Indonesian resort of Bali. On the other hand, of course, Prime Minister Modi is set to meet world leaders as well as a part of the G20 summit. Now, Modi also emphasized that finding a solution to the Ukraine crisis will be a focus of India's presidency of the G20, which, of course, India will be taking over in 2023. In fact, speaking about hosting that as well, Prime Minister Modi did state that the need of the hour is to show concrete and collective resolve to ensure peace, harmony and security in the world. He went on to add that he's confident that next year when the G20 meets in the holy land of Buddha and Gandhi, we all will agree to convey a strong message of peace to the world, is what Prime Minister Modi had stated. In fact, he will, of course, be discussing with other G20 leaders key issues including global concern such as reviving global growth, food and energy security, environment, health and digital transformation as well. In fact, Modi did speak about, or rather reiterated his call for a return to the path of ceasefire and diplomacy in Ukraine.
Of a G20 summit, and this is happening in Bali and Nusa Dua summit venue, and this particular session, which is post-lunch session, which is on health, is going to see comments by all the leaders concerned. Prime Minister taking his place next to the Indonesian President Joko Widodo, of G20, because President Widodo will be passing on the chair to Prime Minister Modi ceremony, which is slated for around Indonesia time, which would be about 5:30 p.m. India time tomorrow. But today we are seeing comments being made by President Widodo as chair of G20 on the session which is going on health. It's a very important, crucial issue post the pandemic, how the world has behaved, conducted itself, contributed, and almost when he was participating in the session on food and energy security. Prime Minister made it clear that these disruptions are not sustainable, that they are affecting the poor of the world. The war in Europe should not go on, must not go on. As someone who comes from the holy land of Buddha and Gandhi, as he mentioned, it is an imperative that India underscore that this war has to stop. Also, he, in the same vein, mentioned that this insistence of the West to punish and in doing so, and we're seeing in the pictures, Prime Minister there engaging with President Joe Biden, that was earlier in the day, and of course, Emmanuel Macron shaking hands with Prime Minister, and as Olaf Scholz, the German Chancellor, looks on, and other leaders present there. So I think Prime Minister there doing some plain speaking in those brief comments that he made, intervening during the session on food and energy security, telling the West to not make sanctions a tool which ends up punishing the world community as a whole and disrupts the fragile global economy, and also secure that this war has to stop, otherwise affected the most. In the pictures we are also seeing Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. He's very important there. Announced oil production. Is the mission of the West, and particularly riling the Americans. Mohammed bin Salman incidentally was to come to New Delhi and then to fly to Bali, but for some scheduling issues, he couldn't. Maybe coming next month sometime. But that energy security is looming large on leaders of G20. It's a very important organization with 85% of global trade, 75% of global GDP, and 2/3 and more of global population. Italy, of course, Nivedana. These pictures are coming in at the moment when world population has crossed the 8 billion mark. And in the pictures on the side, the Indian delegation led by Prime Minister Modi, which also has External Affairs Minister Dr. H.I. Shankar, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, and briefly we saw in the picture the G20 Sherpa for India, Amitabh Kant, and all those people there, of course. And now the session going on health. From now we'll be getting the comments from Prime Minister Modi in this session as well, and then we'll come back to the